This is Goku. He has 3 kids. Naruto is the cool younger brother who gets away with everything, and everybody has unfathomable glaze for. One Piece, on the other hand, is the oldest brother and has built up a highly respected persona. Everybody knows who One Piece and Naruto are, and they all love them. And then we got the third child. What was his name again? Oh yeah, it was Bleach. And Bleach is the middle child, but I guess he's forgotten.
That's right. Papa NECRO found the keys to the account. And if you couldn't tell, we're going to be talking about Bleach today. It used to be one of my favorite anime of all time. In fact, I would dare to say that it was pretty peak. And that was until about maybe episode 62, when we started to move into filler. And I believe that's where the downfall really began. But I don't really need to explain that. That's why we're here, to watch this video and how piss poor you can actually explain Bleach.
Bleach is a series that's considered to be in the big 3 anime, but why does it get so much hate to the point where people will replace it with something like Dragon Ball or Hunter x Hunter?
And pardon me if I pause a lot, I'm still getting used to this thing again. But to answer the question here about why it's the bastard child of the big 3, well, it's really simple actually. It's because Bleach had the biggest dip in quality that could only be defined by itself. For the past 2 decades, it was pretty much dormant until the 1,000-Year Blood War. Everything between then and now has pretty much just been a head-scratching moment of, wow, this really is Bleach now, isn't it? And some people would say, well, Mr. NECRO 13, what about the people that actually did like it? Do you know that Super Eye Patch Wolf has done irreparable damage to the discourse around Bleach? To which I would reply, I don't really care. I only speak for me. And if the other people are upset about that, well, I mean, look at the AniTubers and how hard they have to really get down in there to tell people that Bleach is actually good and that you should just watch it. Come on, man. Don't you like your shonen slop?
And I love Dragon Ball, but it's just pure stupidity to not recognize Dragon Ball as a father of anime. No, it's not in the big 3. It's the father. Just thought I'd clear that up. And the main reason I'm making this video is because just around a month ago, I started Bleach and I went into the series thinking that it was going to be a mid-show because everyone had said that it's not that good and it's by far the worst of the big 3.
And those people would be correct. Out of the quality that you get in the storytelling that's crafted in each of those series, Bleach is the one that falls short the most. And that's not just my opinion, that's what it is. If you look at One Piece, it's been going on for even longer than Bleach has ever been around. But also, the fact of the matter is that the world building and the character arcs and everything else in both of those franchises outside of Bleach happen to do very well. In fact, I think that the biggest issue that Bleach has is that we're going to have to break this down throughout the video, so I can't spoil it necessarily right now. So just trust me, hang in there. We're going to get to the good stuff.
But now, Bleach is already and probably will be in the future my favorite anime of all time. And I just want to kind of clear up some of the misconceptions that some new anime watchers may have before starting Bleach and why you should really give Bleach a try, because I really feel like all these negative connotations and these negative stereotypes that people may have of Bleach is just simply not true.
Now, to kind of give some kind of information here without sounding too rambly, we have to look at a few things to really get into the thick of it. Not the weird KSI song, but we have to look a little bit more at the information presented to us. Why is Bleach actually written off as not as good as the other ones? Why is Bleach just not that good? Why are there so many people saying that Bleach is bad? Well, to that, we can look forward to the people that love looking at AniTuber videos the most. And that is the people on my anime list, because no sane person is going to go on that website and find anything of value. Not particularly. Now, before someone says, well, NECRO, you cherry-picked this comment, I don't know why you would do that. Yes, I did, and I will explain why. Because this comment is relatively older, 2015 older. But I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I will give you at least the opening, and you can pause the video if you want to read through it yourself. But this one reads, Bleach. This anime is a clusterfuck. Nothing more, nothing less. The concept of Bleach is actually decent, and its execution was 8 out of 10, right up until episode 63. The relationship between Hollows, humans, and Shinigami, death gods, was interesting and continued to progress into a rescue mission. This anime honestly should have ended as that. But instead, we get shitty plot after plot hole, Deus Ex Machina, Shinkai, Bankai, Hollow Mask, Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and basic shonen formula. The current manga for this series is in such a shithole that there is literally no hope for this series in my opinion. Especially with the death of Masaki, the voice actor of Yamamoto. Don't worry, you can read through this, like I said, if you pause it, but I wanted to bring this one in particularly because it is the vibe that everyone has been feeling all around Bleach. And this isn't Super Eye Patch Wolf's problem, and this isn't any of the other AniTubers' problems. This is something very, very specific, and we need to tackle it in this video.
And I think the first reason that people steer away from Bleach is because of the rumors that the story is basic and bland. And I disagree with this fully. People say that Bleach lacks emotion like Naruto or One Piece, and I can understand why they may say that, but this is because Bleach is a more mature show and it's vastly different compared to its fellow brothers.
A thing I never understood when I watched this video the first time on my Twitch stream, which you should definitely follow at NECRO_13. It's the typical Twitch thing. But anyways, the thing that I was going to get to is I hear a lot of this complaint about the story being bland and boring, and then also the characters just like not existing technically. And to some extent, I get that too. I would dare to say, and I will go out on a limb for this, that Bleach was good until episode 63, and then we got hit with filler. And even if you didn't read or watch it or whatever, and someone told you, hey man, you should definitely give Bleach a try, it's pretty goated, I think most people would probably come to the conclusion that the Bound arc and everything after that, if they're an anime only, is dog water. And even then, we could even get down even deeper to this. The entire Soul Society arc and everything before that was pure cinema. And then everything after that in the manga was just the same arc all over again. Except we're saving Orihime and not Rukia. That's where people's complaints usually hit in. And sometimes it's kind of like a post-nut clarity situation. I can feel that. I think my other biggest complaint, too, about this segment in particular is what constitutes Bleach being more mature. I mean, both of those franchises that are not Bleach technically have the same thing. I'm kind of spitballing some ideas here. Don't worry about it. But I don't know what makes one mature and the others not. But maybe that's a discussion that we need to have a little bit further on in the video. You'll know what I mean.
The information is not spoon-fed easily to the viewers, and they often have to dig deeper to make connections and link areas of the plot.
Now, anyone that has watched Bleach definitely knows that this is untrue. Bleach actually spoon-feeds a lot of information to you straight off the bat. You get introduced to a new character, and if they have to fight that character, you're getting exposition dump out of the ass. And that's just how Bleach is. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it is spoon-fed to you. I mean, some people would say that makes the experience a little bit lesser. Just saying.
And the fact that Bleach is more mature than most shows gives non-readers the impression that it completely lacks emotion. And people may say that it lacks big backstories like Naruto and One Piece. But in my opinion, that's not where the beauty of Bleach emotion occurs. But don't get me wrong, Bleach has great backstories, but I think that the emotion in Bleach really excels at a unique aspect to it, that it kind of makes the emotion more unique and personal to most people.
That was the most word salady thing I've ever heard, and I make a lot of word salads. But to get you caught up to speed if you turned your brain off like I did, he's saying that Bleach doesn't have deep, big backstories, but it has great backstories, and that's how it conveys emotion of the characters and how you should connect with them emotionally, which is kind of weird. It's not a mature show because hardly anyone in it dies, because why would that be a thing? there's probably more characters that have died in those other series, like Naruto, than have ever died in any part of Bleach. And you could say, well, the villains die. Yeah, that's not really what I'm picking up on here, because, like most stories, the villains just kind of die anyways. But outside of this weird preachy thing that I'm doing, I just need to let you know this very important thing about this whole argument. It's that we don't need a lot of deep and big backstories. We want a good story. So while all of these things are great on paper, that's pretty much where we are, they're not that good. And again, I've read through all of the books when Bleach was back in its prime, aka, the before times. That was when I really researched everything. I was beyond the knowledge base that I needed to be to understand and watch Bleach. And then I just stopped caring because Kubo himself just kept ruining it. He would take all of these small things and he would just change them whenever he wanted to. He's literally the god of his own creation. And thankfully for us, we can just ignore everything that he put out after the Soul Society arc. So whatever this mature thing is and backstory thing is, doesn't really matter, because everything is kind of thrown at you only when it's convenient for you, the reader or the viewer. Insert the point here about Ichigo's mother.
And this unique emotion is shown through many characters' philosophy, and the main example here could be Ichigo. See, Ichigo doesn't necessarily show you direct emotion right in your face, but somehow I always find myself feeling bad for him and relating to him. And shouldn't a show that people say, quote, doesn't express any emotion, shouldn't it be unable to make me feel bad for any character?
My guy, it's really not that deep. I mean, people cry over spilled milk all the time, but they don't make videos about it.
So personally, I think that this stereotype that Bleach isn't an emotional show can be critiqued very easily, especially since there are multiple other characters that you feel for, including Rukia, Byakuya, Renji, and so on.
But truth be told, this doesn't make me feel anything because I watched all of their stories. And yeah, you get information about them and where they came from, but if you're shedding tears, then, I mean, we probably didn't watch the same series, I'm just saying. But even outside of that, and let's say that I were to take a different position on this, at some level, you have to kind of look at Bleach and say, man, these people are all damaged, and this is a show about fighting. In fact, that's probably the only peak points of the series is the fights. In fact, that's the only point of the series. And later on in this video, you'll kind of see the promotional art or some of the other sketches that Kubo had put together from Bleach. And they're all wearing these very street clothes kind of styles, the very urban style. Now, when do we see that interjected at any point into Bleach? Oh, that's right.
Another thing that I think most people have a misconception about Bleach is that they say that Bleach doesn't have the world building that it really needs to be a good show.
This is one of my favorite parts of the video, because here you're going to find out exactly what world building isn't, and it's going to be the best thing ever.
And man, this is just wrong, bro. I don't know how else to put it, because honestly, in my opinion, Bleach has better world building than Naruto. I'll be honest.
No, you're not confusing yourself. You're probably thinking to yourself, NECRO, you fell for a troll video. There's no way this dude actually thinks that. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but this is not a troll video. This is the real deal, buddy.
Because in Naruto, you got all the leaf villages, not all the leaf villages. You got all the clans, you got all the villages, but that's honestly just about it.
That's right, viewer at home. World building is when place exists. No, not the things that happen to be in the world that make sense. No. That's far too above our thinking.
Maybe you got those dimensions that Kaguya can open, but Naruto has the village thing, right? And I'll be honest, I think One Piece definitely has Bleach being world building, but that doesn't mean Bleach's world building cannot be exceptional.
I'm sorry to say it, but this is definitely a moment of bro, please, just throw in the towel. You're not going to beat people that love One Piece and Naruto as much as you think you're going to beat them. Bleach's world building is pretty normal. It's pretty passable, I think is the word people would use. It's not a franchise that has a lot of world building in it, other than there are people that live here and these are where the other people are. And even then, I don't know if this is a known thing or not, but you know that Bleach also has dimensions too, right? You know, outside of just, Soul Society and the human world. Don't worry, you're going to bring that up too, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here with the dimension thing.
Let's see what Bleach has. Bleach, they have the world of the living, they have the Soul Society, which is another realm, and then they also got Hueco Mundo. And already, when you just think of the mere size and scale of these three realms, they're already much, much, much bigger than Naruto. And there's so much stuff that is kind of built on in them. We literally had a whole arc dedicated to the Soul Society. And it's not just like we left the Soul Society and we're going to be done. Like, obviously, there's probably going to be more business there later. So in Bleach, there's obviously some very good world building, man. And I'm just starting the Hueco Mundo arc, and already, bro, it's hella interesting,
Seems our friend here can't figure out the words to say about world building other than "it's cool, man," which is great. But if you're gonna make a video like this and put it onto YouTube, don't worry about my videos, they're pretty okay. But if you're gonna make these videos, at least come at everybody that you're trying to prove that Bleach is good with it has place and it does thing. And if you go to place, it's not like they're done with place, it's hella cool. And for the record, if we were to go into this a little bit deeper, and that's what she said, then we would know that Hueco Mundo was actually supposed to be just a barren wasteland, which it is. And the people that are there, I say people, but the characters that are there don't like it because it is full of nothing. And just like the other arcs, it's just kind of just there. It serves as the battlefield for everything and then nothing at the same time. If you can tell me at least one interesting place, a point of reference in Hueco Mundo, then please, make sure you leave it in a comment down below, and we will investigate Hueco Mundo. Smiley face. Now, for the sake of brevity, and also because I've went too long ranting and I know what this next point is going to be, we're going to go ahead and fast forward until we get to another good spot. I hope you don't mind.
Literally, that's the way it follows, which is another thing that Bleach is very good at. Bleach always introduces something, like we literally saw a Hueco Mundo callback when, Menos not appeared. They said Hueco Mundo, so Bleach did not forget that, and we knew that in the future we're probably going to need it. So yeah, that's another thing I think Bleach does very well. It never misses points that it has said, in the past. It always relates plot points and it relates ideas back to the future or the present.
I'm going to be the one to say that callbacks and references to something that happened earlier in the series, and then we're just making it something else later on, is in this case very lazy. Allow me to explain. At the beginning, you kind of just figure out, after some context clues, that there's something else going on here, because Ichigo was able to get his powers that he already had on his own. They were just awakened when he took Rukia's powers. That was then kind of foreshadowing for them to say, well, Ichigo's dad was a Soul Reaper. And then it came up about the other, 20 things that Ichigo is, and one of them is that he also has Quincy blood. Well, that's because we decided that we were going to make the plot point when she died that she also was a Quincy, and that's why the Hollow found her, because Grand Fisher, which was all orchestrated by something else, it's only usable when Kubo wants it to be. He's not a writer, and he's definitely not that good at storytelling, but whoever helped him out with that first part, absolute cinema, as I've already said before. So I don't really understand how this can be clever and something that only Bleach can do that the big three can't. I'm not understanding what the problem is here.
Another misconception about Bleach is that it has lackluster side characters. And I really don't know how people can even think this, because if you love Naruto so much and you're gonna sit here and say that Bleach has lackluster side characters, and you love Naruto. I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of a hypocrite you are, because Naruto probably has one of the worst side characters in anime, bro. I'm just gonna keep it real.
You're watching When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
Hey, careful now. I've seen some things happen on Twitter. I don't think you want to make statements like that and think you're just going to escape it. But, to each their own. Also, this is going to be another segment that I'm going to condense down, so we're going to skip on through.
So many characters that have potential, so many characters that, each motive is different, but, Naruto's not the but Bleach's side characters, man, wow, it does such a good job at kind of relating everyone, because, you got relationships between Rukia and Renji, and, you also got all the captains of society, apart from looking, like, very tricky, they also all have their own motives, and they all have their own they all have their own philosophy and perspective, for example, Shusuke is a show guy, he wants to live, he wants to avoid conflict, he doesn't like fighting, while Kenpachi's the opposite, Kenpachi loves fighting for his life, he loves being the great dad, really he's in life just for the mad scientist sort of thing, he wants to create all these new inventions, for that, and he's also crazy, man, and it's also crazy, my next point, I guess I said this before, but, Bleach has some of the best characters in anime, and I'll say that until I die. All you have to do is just look at Ulquiorra, Ichigo, the captains, and basically everyone in the show. Obviously with that, man, the greatest characters in anime, period. And another thing that I forgot to mention about the characters is that Bleach has some of the best female characters in anime. You got Rukia, Orihime, Rangiku, and Yoriichi are 4 great female characters, and, I know that a lot of people hate Orihime, but I'm seeing Orihime's supporter, and for that reason, she may not do a lot, but she does have OP power, which Aizen apparently wants. That means something, so she's not useless, and she's also not a dickhead, because people all hate Sakura because she was such an asshole, right? Naruto should literally be like, yo, you're an orphan, in front of another orphan, Sasuke. And Orihime's such a nice person, though. You're not just 15, man. You can expect her to go out there and fucking fight Hero, okay? That's just unrealistic. I think it's her character that she is kind of pacifist and she doesn't like fighting. And, Ryu also brought out in Soul Side, so if anything, I think it'll be a little out of character for Orihime to start fighting all of a sudden. So I think she's a great character, to be honest. So overall, I think this is why Bleach is probably the most misunderstood anime of all time, and I think it really just deserves so much more praise, and it does not deserve all the hate that it gets. I'll be honest, the hate that it gets, it's purely just from people who, one, have not watched the show, or two, just hate on it because they want to spread, the bias of Naruto and One Piece. And, I love Naruto and One Piece, man, but sometimes their fans, they can just get a little too toxic, I'll say that. And the Bleach community, on the other hand, I don't think I've seen a single toxic Bleach community member.
So I stumbled upon this channel just a few days ago, and I decided that I wanted to stream this on Twitch. And after I streamed it there, I decided, why not make a video? What's the worst that could happen? Clearly, this video is prime for just talking about. And I'll be honest, I didn't even reach the very end of this video because I was like, man, what a great video this is. Everyone loves it. And as I started to delve deeper, that's when I found these glaring problems. And it's something that is not just exclusive to this YouTube creator. It's with most AniTubers when it comes to Bleach. They always dismiss it as people never reading it or never watching it, which is what this person has done here. If anything, most of the people have seen what they've wanted to watch, and they stopped watching what they didn't want to watch. It's kind of just, if the show's not good, you don't have to watch it. And that's what happened in this case. When the Soul Society arc ended, so did the quality. The quality that everybody got if they were an anime only was restricted to the Bound arc. And then we had a bunch of other filler that also broke the lore of Bleach originally. And if you've read any of those books, you know exactly the ones I'm talking about. But neither here nor there. The people that go around spreading misinformation and biases because they want to talk about One Piece and Naruto is also disingenuous. If anything, those communities are people that typically like what they watch, especially when it comes to One Piece. And they are very, very protective of their IP. It's one of the largest IPs in the entire world. So if you're saying that this bias has to be thrown in there, you would be wrong on that front too. This whole video is nothing more than just saying that people that don't like Bleach are stupid and I am the smart one. And maybe it's not exactly in those terms, but you could just kind of pick up what he's putting down here. And I don't want to sound like that guy because he's probably just meaning well. But when it comes down to it, Bleach is okay, and it's fine if you like it. It's great. I hope that everyone watches it until you get to episode 63. But that's not the issue here. It's that for the past 2 decades, which is a long time in case you were wondering, Bleach used to be considered one of the greatest because it was so good. And then at some point, it just got really bad. And I can't explain it. No one can really explain it. And when people like Super Eyepatch Wolf made their video about it, well, the AniTubers got really pissed off that you dare besmirch the name of Bleach. There was another video that was also in the same vein, saying that they would never stop loving Bleach, and I hope that you never do too. because that's all you have left. And if you skip everything from episode 63 all the way to the now animated 1,000-Year Blood War, well, I mean, you don't have to watch any of that because it's almost superfluous. It's something that doesn't make sense. But that's not a rant for this video. Maybe on twitch.tv you can hear it. But for now, that is all we have. So, will there be another video? No one really knows. But just kind of hang around in there, and you'll see me around on X, formerly Twitter, my favorite place to be.